Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bring It On. Let's head to Adermatt II. The clans servicing the cooling systems have reported an incident of sorcery. The shadows in the cabins and corridors are coming to life. The Voidsmen say they see strange writhing things lurk in nooks and crannies at the edge of their vision. If they look away, things spread over the room, gnawing on everything in their path and attacking the weak and infirm. The strange creatures cannot be caught. It is almost as if they sense they are being watched and sink into the many cracks between the machines and bulkheads. Order that the decks be purified with fire. The controlled scorching of decks is a labor-intensive but very familiar process for the Voidsmen serving under the ship's Infernus Master. The evacuated chambers were set on fire, burning away all filth and heresy from the darkest corners. The Shadow Skulkers vanished without a trace, and the denizens of the cooling systems breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, that's a dungeon. Kind of. Bizarre ruins. The bizarre structure observed from orbit appears to be the ruined estate of an wealthy noble. Further searching reveals remains of an envirodome, a landing pad, the main manor, and servants' quarters. It is impossible to determine what exactly happened there. The search team has found something truly disturbing in the main hall. An opulently clothed skeleton sitting at the dinner table. The table is set with gold plates covered with old blood and piles of bones. The bones on the plates are clearly human. No other remains have been found on the estate. I searched through the remains for anything valuable. The scout team returns with some expensive weapons taken from the skeleton. After finishing their report, they hurry away, whispering prayers. Assault last gun. Sure. A Vox notification from the auger crew drowns out the usual noise on the bridge. An Imperial vessel, the Darkpiercer, and its escort ships are headed your way. Your archives make no mention of either the ship or its owner. As you consider your course of action, the ship's captain contacts you first. Introducing himself as the Pilgrim, the captain greets the rogue trader courteously and offers to purchase any information you might have on crystal phlogiston deposits. Ask why the captain calls himself the Pilgrim. The captain admits he has not always done the right thing in his life, but he once beheld the blessing of the Emperor himself, and has followed a special path of service to him ever since. That is a path he now treads as the Pilgrim. Ask why the Pilgrim needs phlogiston. The captain's coarse laughter echoes forth from the Vox. Phlogiston is a part and parcel of many different aspects of life in the Imperium. How exactly his customers are going to use it is none of his concern. All that the Pilgrim promises is that the phlogiston will be used for the good of humanity. That immediately remarks that someone without a name is not to be trusted. Deals with such people do not tend to end well. If she were you could first find out his secrets, and then scrupulously remove him from the equation. Pascal becomes visibly animated at the mention of phlogiston. Though indifferent on the prospect of a deal with the shadowy individual, the Magus nonetheless recommends you find out more about phlogiston deposits. Your own protectorate would benefit from the knowledge. Sorry, I was suppressing a cough that whole time. Since Argenta sincerely believes the words of the Pilgrim, a caliber gold and a kilo are no prerequisites for being his true servant. If the captain sincerely wants to help the Imperium, perhaps by his own methods, there's nothing questionable about extending a helping hand. Propose a deal. Valuable information in exchange for phlogiston. The captain of the Darkpiercer is in the best of spirits. In gratitude for your invaluable help, He sends you a small box containing ancient maps and documents. They appear to speak of a certain imperial world lost many centuries ago. Then, in a somewhat conspiratorial tone, the Pilgrim relates a story about a standoff between two Xenos fleets, which was told by an acquaintance. The person in question, sadly enough, died at the hands of the Inquisition before they were able to pass on the coordinates for the crash site of one of the Xenos ships. However, Pilgrim knows for a fact that the vessel met its demise on an ocean world. Bid farewell to the Pilgrim. Travel onward. Recolliger's plot. A ship that once traveled the galaxy is now suspended in the silent void like the gnawed carcass of a giant monster. When the Rogue Trader's void ship approaches, Voxmaster reports an incoming message. A colony of the Imperium subjects have made their home in the bowels of the ship. They welcome the Lord Captain. Visit the colony.
Is there money to be made?
Welcome, your lordiness. Please, please, come right in. New nitwits, quit your gawking and get to work. What do they say? Please, please, come right in. Our chief, she'll greet you.
That's how it's done.
Whoa, check out the visitors over here. Must be someone big. The plate reads, Lithano's Pride. The name Lithano resurfaces in your mind. The history of a family from the Cronus Expanse who invested all they had in a family ship. The ship perished in the warp on its maiden voyage. The Lithano line never recovered from this crushing blow.
Do these monkey truly spend their brief lives digging through refuse? Why do they not choose another path? Find another self?
Do Xenos always abandon their vaunted paths whenever the going gets tough? That is why you will all crumble before humanity's resolve.
Yeah, you tell her, Solomon.
You seem tense, Proctor. Did you see something suspicious?
No, Master Interrogator. I will deal with any violations that could lead to disorder. As for minor infractions, you and I both have better things to do.
How far we have fallen. The Rogue Trader digging through rubbish. I can scarcely speak for grief. Probably should have brought Pascal. So focused on roleplay skills that I don't.
Is the Domin trying to comprehend the limits of baseness and vice? Is that why Vilgai is allowed to live?
You simply have to hit every nerve you come across, don't you? Let's just chalk this one up to the Lord Captain's whims.
Forgot what I was saying.
Let us not dawdle.
Simple machinery and tools look a little worn but well maintained. Hello there, your lordiness. A working area where fragments of the ship are dismantled in search of scraps of valuable metals or parts. The dump site have cut pieces of metal and other materials, probably from clearing out a path deeper into the ship.
I always have a backup plan.
Something is propped against the door from the inside. You hear the piercing sounds of a saw and other tools coming from behind it. Hey, I'm trying to read. Jerks. A tired-looking woman of indeterminate age, clad in work clothes, breaks off from her task to greet you. She freezes momentarily, clearly unsure how to address you, and then says simply, Your lordship, please excuse me. I don't really know your name. Welcome to our little colony. May the light of the Emperor be with you, and with us. My name's Rita Maximova. I'm in charge here. But what is this place? We just call ourselves Rita's crew, and this place is Rita's camp. That's it. We're Recolligers, scavengers in common terms. She does not speak the word scavengers with any kind of disdain. On the contrary, there is dignity in her voice, kind with which one would announce their affiliation with a respected guild or family. What do you do here? Right now we're gutting this old heap of junk, slowly but surely. That's a Recolliger's life for you. They drop us off at some decrepit station or an ancient battlefield, we just sit there for years on end. We look for working tech or valuable materials, or whatever else might be useful. If we find anything, we sell it to passing ships. Not the easiest job out there. These wrecks are chock full of all kinds of dangers. But, and I swear at my plasma torch, that's an exciting one for sure. This little bird's got all kinds of bells and whistles. Most of the tech is dead, but we do find working pieces now and again. We spent 2 whole months clearing out this shaft we found. Finished just 3 days ago, actually. We found this thing. A bit weird looking, but still functional. Rita's expression brightens up a little. Perhaps your lordship would like to buy this component from us. I'll bet that big ship you've got could get plenty of use out of it. I will buy the component. Minus class rechargeable battery. Wasn't this something? The Emperor himself must have smiled upon us. Rita makes a triumphant gesture. Thank you, your lordship. You'll be pleased with the results. And experience, for some reason. Your mood visibly improves. You know, your lordship, it's kind of embarrassing to offer you this, but over in that corner there, we keep things we don't rightly understand or can't really use. You could send some of your people to check it out if you'd like. Well, you know more about this stuff than us. You might find something useful. You've got your own ship. No, not even close. A luxury like that? You could count the Recolligers who got their own ship on one hand. An old worker's hand that got sucked into machinery 3 times, and slashed by a plasma cutter twice. We fly with whoever, mostly just taking our chances. Sometimes we hitch a ride on the promise that we'll pay back what we find later. Other times we find some other means. Risky business, obviously. 5 or so years back, a crew got dropped off at an abandoned station, but something wasn't right with the life support systems. The ship came back to pick them up 2 years later, and found nothing but bodies. And about 15 years ago, back before I had my first little one, a ship took 3 crews to locations and ran into pirates on the way back. The ships go out on expeditions for years at a time, so it was ages before anyone realized they were missing. And it was even longer before they remembered the scavengers. Plus it took some time to find a ship that could check on them and pick them up. Long story short, all 3 crews had bought it. Yep. Can you tell me anything about this wreck? Not much. We're no eggheads, you know? We're manual labor. It's an ancient thing. Pretty dangerous. We don't really know much beyond that. Before we came here, some tech priests had done their own bit of gutting. Ritualing, bowing to the spirits, all that. That lot don't tend to leave a whole lot of valuables behind, it's true. But it's way too scary to go in before them. And hey, we dragged a dozen of their broken conservators out of the mines after. The carcasses smelled awful, but you could pluck a decent number of parts out of a servitor and sell them. Doesn't seem like there's anything nasty living inside the wreck now, but the wreck itself is barely holding together. You go a couple of modules from here, and that's it. You won't take another step without fearing that a broken reactor might cook you alive, or a whole module might depressurize. Well, something we haven't handled before, so we're having a poke at it. But we don't have a clue what this ship is or who it belonged to. You take pride in your trade, I see. Sure do. You take skill and luck, and a good head on your shoulders. We risk our lives every day, crawling on top of these old buckets. If something goes wrong, we die. By the scores sometimes. One moment we're there, the next we're gone. Kind of like worker ants. But you know what, your lordship? Our job also has something, how should I put it, poetic about it. So there's references to animals in 40k, and I feel like most regular people, regular Joes, would not know about ants, for instance. Because they're probably extinct, at least on Earth. They might exist elsewhere. Hope you don't judge me too harshly, and don't take it as insolence. But some people, even big people like you, think too highly of themselves. Let's say your ship hops into the warp someday and doesn't hop out of it in time. And around 1,000 years later, another gal like myself, who needs to feed her 3 ankle biters somehow, will be rifling through its remains, looking for anything good. That's just the nature of things. Each of us comes and goes, but the way the world works stays the same. We'll have our lot in life, and mine is just as good as any other. You're amusing, little Modkai. Your life is shorter than a moth's, and you spend it digging around in the carcass of dead, malevolent metal. You speak of eternity and the stars. I like that. It's like seeing starlight reflected in a puddle. You speak as if the world is set in stone, and none of us can change anything for the better. There are some big things you're talking about. Way out of my depth. Change for the better? Heck, that'd be nice. Rita pauses to think. If I was younger, didn't have 3 youngsters back home, maybe I would dream about stuff like that too. But as it is, I've got no time for dreaming. I've got to work. I know this feels. I can take you from this place. It's not safe here, and sooner or later, it'll drift somewhere so remote that nobody will ever find you again. But this is our whole livelihood, your lordship. You take us from here, and what are we gonna do? Sit in some hold slaving away? Here we've got our own colony, our own operation. No, this is our path, and we won't stray from it. I see. Your lordship. Rita falters as if flustered by her own nerve. Please don't take it as insolence, but it's not like I have much choice. It's not often that we get well-stocked ships around here. We could certainly use more provisions and some warm clothes. If it's something you'd be willing to provide, we'd gladly barter for it with whatever we can dig up inside this here ship. It's just a respectful offer of fair trade. She bows slightly before stepping aside. Back to what I was doing before I was interrupted. A small selection of valuable finds, carefully sorted and packed. Your lordship, what brings you here? It's gonna trade,
Always keep your eye on the prize.
But they don't want to. In this work of crude craftsmanship, you can just make out one of the depictions of the Emperor commonly seen in the Cronus Expanse. The apparatus gurgles and emits a strong smell of alcohol, probably not of the industrial variety.
I won't let it define me.
An unknown container, very strong and securely locked.
Keep your wits about you.
I thought there was more we could do.
I always keep my options open.
The songs of my ancestors speak of stars long forgotten and worlds long gone. What a shame that you lack the capacity to understand even a single note.
Well, may I lock myself out of the
Is there money to be made?
safe? Lights keep flickering in the bows of the dead ship as the Recolligers go through their usual tasks. Rita Maxinova sends you her best regards and asks what the colony can do for the rogue trader. Offer necessary clothes to the colony. We lost the uniform kit. Rita thanks you for this generosity and sends back a cargo shuttle loaded with dismantled vessel components. It'll be a while before the colony require another shipment. Their needs are satisfied for now, and regardless, Recolligers need time to extract new components from the guts of the dead void ship. Dispatch a supply shuttle to the Recolligers. As politely as she can, Rita refuses the shipment. The colony's needs are met at present. They simply have nothing with which to repay the rogue trader's generosity. Perhaps the Recolligers will require your aid again at a later time. Maybe once I get that door open. I feel like there's more to do here, but I don't fully remember. It could be once I get that door open, we can come back and there's another quest. Porta Septentum. Oh yeah. Mining worlds supply the Imperium until the last vein is depleted. Then the Administratum reviews the planet's status and assigns a new type of tribute. Excuse you. Even rubble, waste rock will do. The collection of the tithe never ends. Alright, we'll do this battle, and then we'll do the warp gate. That was rude. I just got here. Who starts a conversation like that? I mean, I respect the ramming they're doing. Another one down. Easy peasy. What do we get? Oh, so we got the Galleon Ceramite Void Ship Plating. Galleon Ceramite Plating protects the vessel from harm, negating 7 points of damage on the port starboard and 3 points of damage on the fore and aft. So 9 on the fore. 5 points on the other side. I don't know. I like the first one. The one we currently have equipped. I might do away with the fighters. Try this one out. For now. Alright, to the warp gate. Lord Captain, we're passing by a construct marked on the star charts as a dimensional gate. Our augurs are not showing any suspicious energy readings. The device is dormant, thank the Emperor. What is this gate? An ancient Xeno artifact, older than humanity itself. Judging by its design, this is a gate leading somewhere. Possibly straight into the wicked abyss of the warp, considering all the nasty crap that used to roam around here. Many captains, Her Ladyship Theodora included, have tried to reveal its secrets, but it seems that no one can figure out how it works. Good for them if you ask me. What was Theodora interested in? Her Ladyship didn't exactly share her plans with us, always kept them close to her chest. But I'll go out on a limb and say she was searching for a way to open the gate and see what's on the other side. The Reconnaissance Fleet conducted its own analysis of the Xeno artifact. All records of the expeditions to the site were added to the exploration catalog. Nasty in what way exactly? I don't want to repeat the rumors, and I don't know the truth, but it was bad. There's word of ships and even whole trade convoys disappearing. Captains started avoiding the system, so eventually the Lord Inquisitor came here and made short work of it. Hasn't been much in the way of murmurs ever since, actually. The Inquisition made sure Voidsmen kept their mouths shut. Whatever the gate used to spew out, it must have been profane and a danger to humanity. Report received. We live to serve, Lord Captain. I wish to study this construct. Lord Captain, I'd advise against approaching the gate. The Inquisition has declared the entire area around it off limits and packed it with mines. Our augurs won't be able to detect them. Ignore the construct. Consider it done. I thought you could do a book event. That might not be until later. Alright, well I'm going to call it here. Next time, I'm going to try and make our way to these 3 systems. I could probably just jump here. At the cost of 3 insight. Which is fine, we'll get more down here. I also make sure I have enough for Chronok to at least our capital world. We're going to do this. Alright, so next time we're going to jump over here. But for now, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.